Time for the media wrap. I think I should not be introducing these people because I'm in their space. I think I should ask them to introduce me. But in the meantime, perhaps what I should say is that we're looking at a symposium over 2 days and respond resilient policies on national development. We looked at security, we looked at health, and we looked at the economy. So might I hand over to Major Christian for you to introduce me and Major Blackwood.
So, thank you. I'm Major Christian. I am the head of research and development for the Caribbean Military Academy. And here today we have the lovely Faye Ellington, along with our very own Major Blackwood. And we're just doing the media wrap up for all that's taken place over the last couple of days.
What has happened between yesterday and today is simply a look at some issues. In for some of the discussions, they couldn't go as deep as they would have liked to because of the limited time. But I was speaking earlier on with Major Blackwood, and his thoughts coincided with where I wanted to go as well. And what are some of the issues? So we looked at security and the issues surrounding security. And security doesn't only mean the JDF and the JCF. It means security, how people feel secure about their well-being, about their health, all of that. And so matters of health were discussed. We look at the economy, and people like Dr. Andre Horton spoke to that, the Jack and Jill concept that he has, the gig economy, and even more so now that we are dealing with COVID-19, we have to understand what is the gig economy. Those of us in entertainment understand gigs, we go on gigs, and we have to have a gig to be able to survive. And then you have the business of digital literacy, because when we talk about education, we cannot speak about education and not speak about digital literacy, because that's where we are. We've been trying to fight it, and I don't care if you're 67, 77, or 17, you have to come on board. But here is something, when we discuss all of these things, the economy, when we look at health and we look at security, and we look at the digital economy, fear takes over. But fear does so many horrible things to us. Would you like to tell me about your understanding and your observation of what fear does, Major Blackwood?
Absolutely. Thank you. Fear is we call it a cross-cutting issue, because what is evident is that we definitely have a new paradigm. All the practitioners, policymakers, the academics, they paint a very clear picture as to what is happening. And the fact is, if we do not have certain understandings and appreciations of resiliency, then fear takes over. And in any survival situation, as we were saying earlier, when trouble catch you,
pick the clothes fit you. When
any,
trouble catch
exactly.
Big man, pick the clothes fit you.
And that is what fear will do. Fear will cause you to freeze up in a situation. So here at CMA, we have
which is the Caribbean Military Academy.
Mm-hmm. Right. We have lead forward because we have to take the action from the state of dialogue into developing solutions which can be implemented at all levels. And when I say all level, I'm talking not just at the whole of government level, but at all operational levels and the agencies such as the JDF and any agency that we work in partnership with, so we can impact the individual Jamaican and prevent fear from.
Indeed. What came out, I know you've been very busy coordinating and making things happen, Major Christian, but I have been locked in from 8:35 yesterday morning. And what came out in addition, and I don't think people addressed it as fear, but it came out, that people were we're in uncertain times. We need to diversify. We need to find new ways of doing things. And then we have the fear of COVID-19 and the health impact that can have. But the fear can cripple the economy. The fear can make you ill. Even if COVID-19 doesn't get you, fear will get you.
Yes.
And fear and security.
Yes.
You work in that area. You want to comment?
Yes, most definitely. I think one of the things that has come out more so with COVID-19 is the issue of fear and psychosocial stressors that we have. And what many have failed to recognize is that many of these stressors have been taking place for quite some time. With our high crime rate, looking at the economy, yes, it's improving, but at the same time, issues of job insecurity, with COVID, food insecurity. This really makes persons feel less secure in themselves, and it can cripple them personally. even looking across at the community. So for us, with looking at the symposium, it's a way to invite discussion to talk about these stressors, both in the workplace, looking organizationally, and thinking about individuals. So we as a country and as a people have to think about the impact, how it impacts us. We're looking at churches and even our religious, lives. So now we have a new look and an opportunity.
And of course, this new iteration of Black Lives Matter have put some new things onto the plate that we have to move through and address,
Absolutely.
I have a problem, and I'm going to tell you what my problem is. My problem is, why wasn't this symposium made more open to the public? Who shall take this? Or should I speak with the Chief of Defense Staff? Because let me tell you why I ask, and then I'm also going to say many of those presentations should be on your website,
Yes.
and people should have access to them. Because we have to be very careful that we don't contain things in such a way that the people who should benefit from them never get to them.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry?
I'll go right after
we
this.
actually have a fix. So yes, perhaps it could have been done earlier. We actually made the decision yesterday to open it to the public. So these sessions have been open to the public, and they have been able to see the second and the third presentations.
And for those things that were not open, you would put it on the website.
Yes, we would.
And then you have to go on to social media. Please remember, social media is not just there to socialize and have fun and play movies. It's there for information as well. So put it up to say that you have the presentations from the JDF, from the symposium, up there on the website. So you wanted to comment, and then we're going to have to go to the plenary, which is to close things off, yes?
It will definitely take that process of knowledge sharing. We have taken an open approach to our model at the Caribbean Military Academy. What we will do, especially for public servants, is to ensure that wherever they are working in this time of crisis, we can push content to them. And we are also inviting the public in the development of this content. The symposium was done with that very intent in mind, to ensure that we can get the right people in the right space and to start to get the diversity in the ideas. Because sometimes, and as you alluded to in the remarks, sometimes we in the policy or practitioner areas, we think that we have all the answers. And so it may be the man on the Tata bus or the little man downtown who might say, hey, have you considered this approach? So absolutely, we have embarked on that process of curation to get the material. It's on the YouTube channel already. We have the CMA website that is coming up.
Which is different from the JDF website.
It is all integrated.
All right.
It is, so from the JDF website,
you can do a hyperlink straight into
you
CMA.
could link into CMA. You'll be able to see the entire programs under the CMA, because we want to communicate that side. Early in the symposium, we saw a lot of interest as well. People wanted to know what we are doing. So we will be communicating with the public for sure.
So we're going to wrap up, but I'm going to ask you to have a final word, because you were right there as part of the engine to make this happen. I'm going to ask a question at the plenary, but let me ask you, why was this necessary? Why was this symposium necessary? And why is it that the JDF led?
Okay, so to start with the JDF, I think it's very important that we show the public that we are more than boots on the ground, that we're more than ZOSO, and that we actually can provide an infrastructure or a framework to really help solve a lot of the issues that face Jamaica and the region and other similarly situated states. So it's for the JDF, this was a new journey for us.
Very important
Yes,
one.
a very important one. We're interfacing with the public, key stakeholders, all ministries, and from here, we really see this as the beginning of a journey. And yes, the time was very short, so it's really the beginning of dialogue that must continue.
Must continue. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how successful was it?
20.
Exactly.
Major?
I'm sure you would agree.
I'm certain that the Chief of Defense Staff would not have hired you if he knew your math was like that. But thank you so very much. We're going to go now to the plenary to just put the lid on things. But thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.